Fran Brown talking to the media. Here's the clip.
Personally, as a head coach, and then also your coaching staff, just what have you learned about this team and just the coaching staff through this 3-game skid?
I think that you'll find that out this week as you watch us play. As you're able to see, we're going to fight to the end, right? We're going to play and compete. I think that this is when you find out who's a real football coach and who isn't, right? How the team responds, how the team continues to play, the things that go on, and that's not just something that you're involved in. This is life, right? This is my life. This is also an opportunity for me to teach our players about life and about faith and believing in themselves and continuously working and pushing, even though the answers may have been no right now for so many. But you got to keep getting up. Right?
All right, so
I'm just laughing because I know how that was perceived.
Oh, it was. So let's go. We're gonna end the show with this. Bro hasn't showered in weeks. Last year, Fran Brown manufactured bulletin board material saying that Brent Key didn't know who he was, or something along the lines of that. And Georgia Tech fans took exception to it. Obviously, Tech goes up there week 3, I think it was last year. Syracuse slings the ball all over the yard with Kyle McCord, puts belt to him for 2.5 quarters. Georgia Tech comes back, utilizes some special teams plays to be able to get back into the game. Ends up falling short. Syracuse wins. So this year, obviously, you've got a lot of storylines mixed in with this, right? You've got your old special teams coordinator and Ricky Brumfield that's now up there at Syracuse that was the scapegoat for a lot of your issues last year. Then you've got Fran Brown who comes out in the media, and the question, the question was, what did you learn about yourself? Fran Brown is obviously talking about, pointing the finger to himself. You learn about who's a real coach and not in situations like this. I think, one, a lot of programs would appreciate that candidness. I think, Will, you could say yours would appreciate someone talking like that. The team I cover would appreciate that as well. Like, fans like that. Like, hey, yeah, you're right. Like, you do realize that. And so Fran Brown makes a comment. The "you find out what kind of coach you are" clip gets spread on Georgia Tech Twitter, and just like a wildfire. I mean, just nuts. Context is important. So I'll say this, guys. This is going to be an interesting game. Tech, I believe the last time I looked, FanDuel had them as a 17.5-point favorite, which is just objectively, that's a lot of points. Like, that's a lot of points for a conference game. Not saying Tech's not good enough to cover it, not saying Syracuse is awful, but Will, would you agree that 17.5 is a lot of points to cover, and that's a pretty big spread for a conference game?
That's a huge spread. It's a ton of points. Now, Syracuse has looked bad the last 3 games. They're playing Ricky Collins at quarterback, not their starting quarterback with Angeli going down. They've looked bad offensively. So, I mean, Tech could win this game 20-0 or 18-0. They could kick 6 field goals and cover the spread. I mean,
the Aiden Burr legacy game.
That's how I'm just saying that's how bad Syracuse has looked offensively.
Yeah.
But this game obviously means a lot. This is turning into a rivalry game, which, hey, I'm all for it. The more rivalry games, the better. It's going to be a ton of fun. 12 o'clock kickoff. Give you something to do.
Yep.
So you don't have to watch the SEC. But, it's interesting. What I take from that, what Fran Brown said is, as a head coach, you should always be looking and evaluating your staff, right? I took it as like he's putting his assistants on notice. Say, hey, look, right now, can we get back in the win column? And a lot of that's going to be a reflection of you, and that's going to tell me if you're going to be coaching here next year or not.
Yeah,
right. That's part of his job, is to always be evaluating and always trying to get better. But like you said, the question had nothing to do with Georgia Tech. He didn't mention Georgia Tech, which he was never going to anyway. We know how Fran Brown is. But it had nothing to do with it. But you talk about manufacturing bulletin board material. Who do you think he learned that from?
Head man in Athens.
Kirby Smart.
Head man in Athens.
Yep.
I'll say this before you go to you, Ralph, in the terms of this game with Syracuse, and I'm going to talk more about this. There is a path for Syracuse to go win this football game. Georgia Tech is among the worst in the country, worst in the ACC in rushing yards allowed. Like, they're not good against the run this year. And if you're talking about what is the path to an upset win, well, you have to take pressure off of Ricky Collins. And they've got a back, and I want to make sure I pronounce his name correctly. Yassine Willis is their running back. Could he break out in this game? He's going to have to, right? If they're going to have a hopes with us. They can't just rely on Ricky Collins, who, look, Ricky Collins went to high school literally a mile and a half behind my house. I've watched him in high school, watched him for a year at LSU. If Steve Angeli's healthy, probably a totally different ball game we're talking about right now, because they do have some weapons on the outside. But I don't know. I don't see Syracuse win this game. That has to happen. And also, Syracuse's pass rush has generated some momentum. Tech has only allowed 3 sacks in 7 games. They're one of the best offensive lines in the country in terms of not allowing people to get to their quarterback. So that's all I got to say about this. But I guess, Will, you're going to say something? We'll go to Ralph.
Yeah, I just checked the stats, the advanced numbers on this. Syracuse is atrocious offensively.
Atrocious.
113th in yards before contact rushing, 122nd in yards after contact. They're bad. Offensive success rate rushing is 96th in the country, 75th in the country in passing success rate. Their defense is just as bad, in the same neighborhood nationally, 109th against pass, 108th against the run. They've been really bad. They've been really – it would be shocking if they got up off the mat and won this game. It would be just based off what the numbers show, would be shocking.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Ralph.
Look, at the beginning of the year when I saw Steve Angeli play the first 3 weeks, I kind of thought that this team was going to be pretty good again. And, an 8-9 win season for Syracuse coming up. And then, they beat Clemson pretty handily, but they lose Angeli in that game. And obviously the offense has not been the exact same. It hasn't even been remotely the same. You're going against a team that wears you down offensive, or I guess you say defensively, with Haynes King and Jamal Haynes and Malachi Hosley and Isaiah Kane, and they got a bunch of weapons on this team. Mm-hmm. Tech wins this game handedly. I mean, I could see this is getting kind of ugly, I feel like. And obviously, we talk about, back to when they played Clemson, that once again, Tech fans took the clip of Kay Clement saying that it reminds me of playing in a high school, back in high school, talking about seeing the skylines over the stadium, because when we lived in Austin. And once again, they took that out of context, and, we had someone help us out and put the full clip for us, and they still didn't understand that. So, but Tech's gonna be showing this all week, and when they win on Saturday, they're gonna tweet at them and show it all this stuff. Is this what you meant? He's not a good coach. And it's just, look, I'm tired of seeing it. Just watch full clips, please. Get context before you start saying stuff.
To your point, it's for fans, right? Like, fans love that kind of stuff. Someone close to the program, close to being inside the program, might be inside the program. I texted them about this, and I said, to me, one of the biggest things, like, I asked him about it, and he was like, yeah, it's embarrassing. Like, it's stupid. Like, I don't know why they decide to do stuff like that, but it is what it is.